New odds popping up every day on Polymarket with big dollar amounts up for grabs, like the LA fires. Shockingly, you can wager on how much of California will burn or the exact date of containment, or if President-elect Donald Trump will buy Greenland and who he might pardon in the first 100 days. Thousands of dollars put on that. There's even a whole section on bird flu. How many cases, whether we'll have a vaccine or another pandemic. Online betting on pretty much anything surged in popularity heading into the election. And the final totals for that? Staggering, thriving in part on anonymity. Many of its users place bets using cryptocurrency. That's a reason why the federal agency that oversees futures markets blocked U.S. users from the platform in 2022. And Polymarket's not the only one that'll let you bet on world events. Kalshi, a platform that's legal here in the U.S., is doing the same. The big question heading into the election was whether Trump's lead in betting markets could actually impact the votes. A new concern now is if somebody has control over one of these world events and decides to influence them based on a bet, just like how infamous sports heroes have bet on games and threw the integrity of the sport into question. Imagine one of those bird flu wagers we told you about. Hypothetically, a state official could put down big money through Polymarket on a decision they make on whether it's a public health emergency. And it's possible nobody would know. Keith White of the National Council on Problem Gambling says his group doesn't take a stance on the ethics of these future bets, but there are concerns.
While there may be some validity in using prediction markets to predict events, there's also some real, if you will, moral hazards on allowing people to profit from negative events.
We reached out to Polymarket about these concerns and have yet to hear back. The company's CEO, Shane Copeland, telling CNBC 2 days after the election that Trump's win represented something of a proving ground for the predictive nature of his platform.
I understand that, you know, it's a novel concept and people were skeptical when it came around, but hopefully now people will be a lot more embracing of market-based information.
But 6 days later, the FBI raided Copeland's apartment and seized his cell phone, according to a source familiar with the matter. Not long after, Copeland posted on X, quote, "New phone. Who dis?" A company spokesperson told NBC News at the time that the FBI raid was, quote, "obvious political retribution by the outgoing administration," after Polymarket, in their words, quote, correctly called the 2024 presidential election. Copeland was not arrested or charged. The Southern District of New York declined to comment. We also asked the Trump campaign if they'd want to continue any investigation into Polymarket's activity. No response there. The boom in sports betting is leading to plenty of problems for those who can't stay away. Another concern as the markets you bet on seem limitless and the regulations less so.
I would argue that sports betting is the most heavily regulated and has the most extensive set of consumer protections, but the prediction markets and other things that we're talking about have little or none.
In the meantime, the betting continues.
Yasmin Vossoughian is joining us now. So, Yasmin, we talked, I mean, it's so interesting when you look at the betting markets, what's underneath them, what you can bet on. And now you've got the president-elect's son who's teaming up with Kalshi. Did he give a reason for that? Like, what's the thought process?
I think you can kind of guess the reason here. He's joining up as a strategic advisor. He actually posted it this morning on X. And I'll read you part of his tweet in which he said, on election night at Mar-a-Lago, while biased outlets called the race a coin toss, my family and close friends used the prediction market to know we won hours ahead of the fake news media, as he said, and we've heard this, obviously, rhetoric from Don Trump Jr. and his family many times before. I immediately knew I had to contribute to their mission today. I'm proud to announce that I am joining Kalshi as a strategic advisor, Hal. And then, by the way, that post was reposted by Kalshi giving a response to his announcement from Don Trump Jr. saying we're excited to welcome him. Don Jr. saw Kalshi's power firsthand on election night, using it to confirm his father's win hours before the media. It proved what we've always believed. Prediction markets are the fastest, most powerful way to uncover truth. Look, Hal, I don't necessarily think that this story is going away. And when we talk about conflicts of interest here, as we mentioned in that story, right, Donald Trump Jr. Being a strategic advisor for Kalshi now, of course, his father being president-elect, certainly this story will continue, to say the least.
Thanks for watching. Stay updated about breaking news and top stories on the NBC News app or follow us on social media.